Hey there, I'm Fox 10 News Chief Meteorologist Jason Smith with your forecast here. And yeah, we got a few storms around this evening. They won't last all night, though. Most of this winding down by 9 or 10 o'clock. Tomorrow, a few isolated thunderstorms in the area as the air is turning a little milder and a lot drier. And then we go completely dry for the back half of the week with some pleasant nights and some beautiful days as we head towards the holiday weekend. So here's what we're tracking as we look at tomorrow. Just a few passing showers in the area. Could see 1 or 2 thunderstorms through the 3 o'clock hour. And then by 5 and 6 o'clock, the drier air is just going to win out. And look at the flow pattern here. So these are the wind arrows out of the northeast on Thursday. And that's bringing in drier, cooler air from the northeast, ridging down from the Appalachians. And it'll feel great. It'll feel like spring again for a little while here. Our temperatures only around 80 for a daytime high tomorrow, and some dry air expected and some cooler nights. At the beach tomorrow, maybe a stray shower or thunderstorm. Temperatures a little warmer down at the beaches. Very high UV index and a rip current risk that is low. Water temperatures in the low 80s, so a lot of folks tempted to swim. As long as we have more of a northeasterly flow, we should have a low risk of rip currents. We'll have to watch it this weekend as we'll have more of an easterly wind and we could see some yellow flag conditions. No tropical systems expected over the next 7 days. Everything looks good in the tropics. Good news there. Be really early for anything anyway. And if you haven't done it already, you can use that QR code right there at the bottom of your screen and download our Fox 10 weather app so you can keep track of severe weather threats, tropical systems as we head into that hurricane season. Looking at our temperatures over the next 24 hours, temperatures into the middle 60s for our overnight lows tonight. That's a sign of the better weather coming in. And then we only make it to around 79 to 80 degrees for our temperatures tomorrow. So it'll feel more comfortable, not as muggy. And looking ahead, what a treat. As we finish out the work week, we're going to see overnight lows in the lower 60s. And that'll continue into Saturday and Sunday of Memorial Day weekend. Plenty of sunshine on Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Highs in the mid to upper 80s. So it's looking really good there through early next week. And coming up here on Next Weather, meteorologist Michael White has an in-depth look at the rip current dangers as we head towards the big holiday weekend. Plus, Matt Barentine tracks the storm surge risk for parts of our area. Stay tuned. We'll be right back.
Can I play? Sure, but you need to bring your own truck. That's not a problem.
The Fox 10 Storm Tracker Fleet, taking you live to more places, covering the Gulf Coast like no one else can. Unrivaled experience, unparalleled severe weather coverage.
I think I need a bigger sandbox.
As we head into Memorial Day weekend, we need to be mindful of the rip currents and the danger they present. Meteorologist Michael White has potential life-saving information for you and your family.
For Next Weather, I'm meteorologist Michael White broadcasting from home, and tonight we're going to be talking all about rip currents, something that is very dangerous on the Gulf Coast, something we deal with a lot in the summer, and something that you need to tell all your out-of-town friends about, because whenever we have a lot of drownings, if you follow the news, most of you know that most of those drownings don't occur from locals. They occur from out-of-towners who don't know about the beach flag warning system. So this gives you a little re-education course, and whenever you run into visitors from out of town, you can give them a heads up on exactly what the rip current risks are. Now, rip currents, as most of you know, are very powerful currents of moving water that move away from the shore, and they can sweep even the strongest swimmer away from shore. And if at all possible, you need to swim near a lifeguard. Now, what do you need to do if you are pulled out? Well, we'll zoom in a little tighter so you can get a better look at this. You need to make sure you know your escape route. You need to swim parallel to the shoreline, to the left and to the right. You don't want to try to swim forward against the rip current. That's the worst thing you can do. Then that leads to exhaustion, and the current takes you out farther and farther, and that's how most people drown. So if the current catches you, the best thing you can do is swim parallel to the shore until you're out of the current, and then once you're out of that pull, you can make yourself push yourself safely and swim back to the shoreline. And the one way you always know that rip currents are a factor is the beach flag warning system. Now, A lot of you, again, that have lived here a while know all about these. And we'll start with green. Green means that the hazard is low. That means the rip current risk is low. But you may have also noticed the beaches don't fly that anymore. I know Orange Beach, Gulf Shores, I don't think they fly that anymore. So even if it's technically a green flag day, they don't fly green. But green means that there are calm conditions. Yellow is medium hazard, moderate surf. Most days, 90% of the time, you're going to see the yellow flag. The red flag, you need to stay out of the water. That's the high hazard. The high surf, strong currents, the probability of rip currents is very high in the red flag if you see a red flag issue. Double red means the water's closed. If you ever see double red, that means you can't get in at all. It is closed to the public. Red means, single red is you're basically, it's at your own risk. And that's just something you got to be very cautious of. So I would not get into the Gulf waters unless there is a yellow or green flag. Purple is something you have to pay attention to, because purple means that there is stinging marine life, the dreaded man-o-wars, the jellyfish, the stingrays, and they can absolutely ruin any beach trip you've got planned. Believe me, they've ruined plenty of mine. I'm sure they've ruined plenty of yours. That's something you got to really watch out for, is that stinging marine life. So watch for those purple flags. Now, the rest of this week isn't going to be looking too bad. All the way through Thursday night, the rip current risk is going to be very low. So there just really isn't going to be a big problem, because we're going to have north winds. But most of our summers consist of south winds, and that means you'll have moderate to high rip current conditions. But for the rest of this week, they will be low. But make sure you pay extra close attention to that beach flag warning system. And as we all know, we're going to be headed into a season where south winds become more prevalent. Afternoon thunderstorms become more prevalent. Lightning, of course, will be a factor. So just remember to be safe out there. Now, a lot of you, again, who've lived here a while know this already, but a lot of out-of-towners don't. And we have a lot of visitors that come to the Gulf Coast from Memorial Day to Labor Day. So just make sure you're a good neighbor, a good friend, and you help them out and educate them on this stuff. I hope you have a wonderful rest of your night. For next weather, I'm meteorologist Michael White.
All right, thanks, Michael. Hurricane season starts June 1st, and so we're also preparing for that. And the most destructive part of a hurricane is the storm surge, and that's that big wall of water that accompanies the landfall of a storm. Is your home at risk, and how do you find that out? Meteorologist Matt Barentine shows you.
It's critical to know your storm surge risk, and one way you can do that is by going to the National Hurricane Center's National Surge Maps. That's Category 1 in and around Mobile and the Eastern Shore, a storm surge with a Category 1 storm. Then you can go to a Category 3 storm here. Now you can see how much more we get flooded from storm surge with that in and around Dog River, downtown Mobile, the Causeway, and parts of the Eastern Shore. By the time you get to Category 5, then you're looking at catastrophic flooding and damage. Most of downtown Mobile, all of Dauphin Island Parkway, most of the Causeway, and parts of the Eastern Shore. Southern Baldwin County starts out with Category 1 here. Minor damage, but then once you get up to Category 3, now you're starting to see almost all of Gulf Shores and Orange Beach covered over with water, and then up into the mainland as well, well north of the intercoastal. Category 5, once again, catastrophic flooding with a Category 5 storm in southern Baldwin County. Going over towards the Panhandle, Pensacola, Gulf Breeze, Category 1, not very much there, but once you get to Category 3, now you're starting to see inundation all across town and into Gulf Breeze. And Category 5, Bayou Grande, Bayou Chica, terrible flooding there, and also downtown Pensacola and most of Gulf Breeze and all of Garcon Point. So you can go to these maps. You can see the website here. The easiest thing to do, though, is to Google National Surge, and it'll come up, and you can go right down to your street level and find out what your risks are for storm surge. In Mobile, Matt Barentine, Fox 10 News.
Thanks, Matt. Coming up, we'll take another look at your 7-day forecast as we head to the holiday weekend.
New to the Fox 10 weather app, your 24-hour radar forecast. Be the first to see how precipitation is going to affect your plans across the Gulf Coast. Detailed hour by hour, the 24-hour radar forecast on the Fox 10 weather app. Plus the latest breaking news with the Fox 10 News app.
Got him, bro.
Stay alert with Fox 10. Prime time is Fox 10 time.
The latest on the night's top stories are first on Fox 10 News at 9.
Wrap up your day, informed and ready for the morning.
Hope you enjoyed the holiday weekend, and it's hard to complain about weather this nice. Our overnight lows are about to get a whole lot better. We'll see a few widely scattered thunderstorms on Wednesday, but Thursday, Friday looking dry. Same thing for Saturday, Sunday, and Monday. Highs into the mid to upper 80s just about every single day. Humidity will be low, and the mornings will be fantastic with some cool mornings out there. So pleasant for a while in the afternoon sun. Fairly toasty, but the humidity low should feel good, and so things look good in that extended forecast.